Hey guys, it's Sharon from Digital Nomad Quest, and today we're going to talk about how to find property managers out of state. Now, if you guys are new to this channel, welcome. I'm all about teaching y'all how to build passive income, become financially free, and design your best lives. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified of my latest videos. So when it comes to real estate investing, if you want to do everything passively, property managers are a must. I would say property managers are important even if they're not out of state. So if you have a property within where you are from, it's still pretty crucial to get a property manager if you want to do everything passively. So I actually have a property in Antioch and I'm from the Bay Area, but I still have a property manager even though it's an hour drive. I like it because it's passive. I don't really have to deal with tenant issues, and property managers usually have the best knowledge when it comes to repairs and maintenance and like costs and things like that. They know how to handle evictions, they know what the best market rents are, and they're just experts in it, so I prefer to have it all hands off. So property managers will help with marketing the property, doing the tenant screenings. You don't have to deal with trying to get a vacant property occupied. They're going to do all the marketing for you, and they're going to screen the tenants to make sure that they're qualified tenants that won't cause a lot of problems.
You don't have to raise your voice.
You pay you!
I can give you half.
You pay no!
And like I said before, they're going to suggest rent prices to charge. They will deal with the repairs and maintenance because they will have specific vendors that they use, and they'll be able to coordinate all the repairs. So if a tenant calls in the middle of the night, they're going to be able to kind of handle everything for you. They're also going to collect the rents for you and pay you afterwards after they collect the fee. They're also going to handle evictions.
I'm not doing so good, Pearl.
I put you on the street.
And so it's just really hands-off if you have a good property management company in place. Now with out-of-state investing, it's even more critical to have a solid property management company handle your out-of-state rental properties. In case anything goes wrong, you're not gonna be able to fly there at a moment's notice just to like make sure everything's okay. They're gonna be your boots on the ground help, where they're gonna tell you everything that's going on. They're gonna let you know what repairs are gonna be required, and you don't need to deal with that. You're just gonna pay that fee when they give you the invoice. So it's important, again, to vet the right property management company. So when you're trying to find a property management company, think of it as like you're interviewing a candidate. You're gonna interview a bunch of these companies, and then you're gonna see which one has the best responses. So one of the first ways to do it is to get referrals. This is probably the best way. If you can get referrals from family, friends, or agents, that would be great, because these are people who have already dealt with these companies and they can recommend these property management companies. So for one of my properties, one of the real estate agents I worked with, they definitely recommended this specific property management company. So I made sure to talk to them and see if they can handle my properties. You always want to get referrals from people you trust. Number two, you're going to look on online resources like Google, Yelp, and BiggerPockets. Google and Yelp especially, they have reviews, right? They have reviews that you can look at so you can make sure that they have high ratings. When I was looking out of state for property management companies, a lot of them had really low ratings, and it was helpful to see on Google what people were saying. So I'm going to show you an example right now. So say I'm going to look for a Bay Area property management company, all right? So I'm Googling it right now. As you can see, some of these have really low ratings. They're 2-star, 3-star. They don't have that many reviews. You know, obviously these 2.3s are not gonna be as favorable as the 4.6s and 4.8s. You know, let's look at this 1.8 rated property management company. You can see the stars here. You know, this one, 1-star, horrible management. You should read all these reviews and see what you think about it. You know, some of them are good reviews, so that's why you want to read these and see what you think. This one's probably not good. You can see there's 2 1-star ratings. If you rent from this company, I hope nothing breaks in your unit, because it'll take them at least a month to fix it if you bug them every day. See, these are not reviews that I want to see. I want to make sure my property management company will get to the repairs quickly, right? So this is like your first line to make sure that the Yelp and the Google reviews are really good. I also mentioned BiggerPockets because that's a good place to network, so you can find property management companies there. You can also find agents as well that will refer property management companies again. So these are 3 sites to look at. And then lastly, you're gonna call a bunch of these companies and then you're going to interview them. So make sure you vet through a bunch of these and then you see what their answers are, because that's how you're gonna figure out which one's the best candidate. So I'm gonna list off a bunch of questions that you might wanna ask. So first off, I like to get information on the city that I'm trying to invest in. So for example, with the 2 properties I purchased during quarantine, I made sure to ask these property management companies what they thought about certain neighborhoods, which zip codes to avoid, which zip codes to maybe invest in, what do they think about, you know, different areas, which areas are B neighborhoods, A neighborhoods, C neighborhoods, things like that. Get information on, you know, the city that you choose. So that's kind of more of the market research that you're gonna do. But then afterwards, when you're trying to figure out if this property management company is a good one to use, you're gonna ask stuff like, what are your management fees? So normally you might get a range from 6 to 10%. So 6% might be more common in more expensive areas like the Bay Area. 10% is a bit on the higher side, but it might be worth it if they are doing a good job. So actually for the 2 properties I got, I have 2 different property management companies managing those 2, and they both charge 10%. Some of them I found to charge 8%, but I saw their ratings. I was kind of worried that they would be bad. These guys had really good reviews, so that's why I went with the companies that were more expensive. You're gonna ask, what services do you offer? You wanna make sure that they offer everything that you want them to offer. Like all the things that I mentioned earlier, they should definitely cover. You should also ask how much experience do you guys have, like how many rental units they are currently managing. This will give you a good sense of how big their company is and how strong their system is. So for example, if they've only managed like 5 units before and they've only had 1 year of experience, that might be a company that you are not sure about, right? You want a company that has more units that they're managing, they have good systems in place, and they have many years of experience. You might want to ask them how they determine their rents. If you have a property that you're already interested in investing in, you might want to ask them how much they think that property can rent for. You can also ask how they screen their tenants, like do they screen certain credit scores like criminal records and things like that, how quickly they can get their tenants. So you want to see how quickly they can make a vacant property occupied. Then you want to ask, how do they handle repairs? How do they market their properties? Do they do direct payments, or how do they handle payments? So for my Antioch property, they're still sending me checks, which is really annoying. I prefer direct deposit. So that's what the other companies are doing. They are doing direct deposit to my bank account, which should be what people are doing nowadays. You also might want to ask how they handle evictions, which might lead to what's the most difficult situation that they've faced. They might talk about a challenging situation, which will make you understand how much they are able to handle. Other things you might want to ask is how often they visit properties, and do they have tenants that are currently looking to rent? Like they might have a list already that is ready to look for a property. So this is a decent list of questions that you might want to ask your property management companies. And what I did really was I just called a bunch of these companies and I just checked what their answers were. And then comparing all the different companies, I was able to kind of narrow down which company I wanted to work with based on, how much they were charging and how qualified they were. So I hope you guys like this video on how to find property management companies out of state. I think this is applicable for any property management company that you want to get, not just out of state, maybe in state. If you're looking for, passive cash flow where you don't have to handle tenant issues and things like that. If you guys like this video, let me know in the comments below if the list of questions helped. I hope they help when it comes to interviewing your property management companies. And make sure to smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified of my latest videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one.